I find two things very fascinating in sports. I find incredible success very entertaining, very interesting. Teams like the New England Patriots, athletes like LeBron James, incredible success is fascinating. Terrible teams are also very interesting. Teams like the Browns. The Browns are like a car wreck. You just cannot help but look as you drive by. You have to watch. But not every terrible team is interesting. Why are the Browns and the 49ers both incredibly interesting right now? Why are the Browns and 49ers interesting? Hope. Both of those teams have hope. The Browns have hope, and the 49ers have hope. The Browns have had back-to-back number 1 overall picks. They just went 0-16. And yet I cannot wait to watch them. I can't wait to watch, hopefully, please, dear God, Sam Darnold. I really badly want to watch Sam Darnold play for the Cleveland Browns. And the reason why the Browns have hope and the reason why I can't wait to watch them is because I actually believe the Browns can turn their franchise around. For the first time in my life, I think the Browns could have a franchise quarterback and could win games. And the 49ers last year, even before Jimmy Garoppolo got to the San Francisco 49ers, the process of becoming interesting was already happening. See, when the 49ers hired a new coach, Kyle Shanahan, and a new general manager, John Lynch, the 49ers became interesting. And then, after 11 games, they got Jimmy Garoppolo started. Jimmy Garoppolo started for their franchise, and that made them even more fascinating. See, a terrible team is only fascinating if they have hope. I don't want to watch terrible just for the sake of terrible. I want to watch terrible with the hope it can turn around and get better. I'm going to make a dreadfully awful team interesting. I am going to give a horrendous team some hope. I'm going to make a terrible team interesting. I told you wouldn't care. Washington State basketball. You do not care about Washington State basketball. Washington State basketball won 4 games in the Pac-12 last season. They were second to last in the Pac-12, and they had a 12-19 record. They were awful. They were horrendous. I went to almost every game. I worked at them. It was not fun. It was not pretty. It was awful, and it sucked, and it was not fun. Not enjoyable to watch. The last time Washington State basketball had a winning season was 2011. So how do you give Washington State basketball hope? Oh, it gets worse, by the way. It gets way worse. Robert Franks from my hometown, Vancouver, Washington. Robert Franks is awesome. Met him once. Great guy. Well, a couple times. Great guy. I actually shook his hand one time. Robert Franks, the best player, arguably, for Washington State, just entered the NFL draft. He's leaving college early. Ooh, that's a big blow. Your terrible team just got worse. Oh, that's not it, though. Malachi Flynn, who is also arguably the best player on the team, it's either Robert Franks or Malachi Flynn. Malachi Flynn is transferring and leaving Washington State. There were only three positive things on the entire team this year. It was Drick Bernstein, Robert Franks, and Malachi Flynn. All 3 of them are leaving. Drick Bernstein graduates. Malachi Flynn is leaving for another team, and Robert Franks is entering the NBA draft. So Washington State's bad right now, but it keeps getting worse. And how does it keep getting worse? So how do you take a team that is already the bottom of the bottom, and how do you make them worse? And then how do you give them hope? How do you give a team like this hope? Well, Jamar Erges, I'm probably going to screw up his name, he just announced his transfer as well. Now, this is not a kid who played very much. He shot 4 shots for Washington State. Not a guy who got a lot of minutes. But nonetheless, when players keep leaving your organization, when players keep leaving your team, it's hard to have faith in the coach. It's hard to believe, oh, we're doing the right things because everybody's leaving. Nobody wants to be a part of this. Ernie Kent is WSU's basketball coach. Oh, and by the way, when you Google WSU, you don't even get Washington State basketball. You get Wichita State basketball. That's how weak WSU basketball's name is. You don't even get Washington State. You get Wichita State. That is horrible. Ernie Kent is Washington State's college basketball coach. He's been there since 2014, and he's a great man. I had the privilege. I was in the interview room with him after games a couple times. I even got to ask him a question. He's a very, very nice man. I don't like tearing down a man like that because he's a good person. It leaks out. You can feel it coming off of him. He's a good guy with good intentions. It's just the truth. And I don't like it when people are fired. My dad's company shut down once. They survived the recession. A bad decision was made. His company shut down. That sucked. I have sympathy for people who lose their job. My dad didn't have a job for a couple of years when I was growing up. It's not awesome. It's actually awful. It sucks. But the truth is, Ernie Kent's coaching is not working. It's not working. No matter what you want to say, it's not. In 2015, the team went 9-22. In 2016, the team got better. They went 13-18. And yet in 2017, they regressed. They took a step back. They got worse. They went 12-19. If they kept improving, it would have been great, but they didn't. Even if you're awful, as long as you keep improving, I'll stick by you. But they didn't improve, and they looked awful. I don't know how you are going to recruit people to Pullman, Washington to play basketball for Washington State University. They can't right now, and I don't blame them. Look, I've been on teams that suck. I've played football on teams that were awful. It's not fun. It's okay. You have friends on the team. It's nice. I don't mean to offend my former teammates, but it is not fun to lose games. It sucks. It's not fun. So let me answer the question. I will tell you, how do you give Washington State basketball hope? I'm going to tell you right now. How do you fix a broken program? Washington State University needs to hire Rick Pitino as their new basketball coach. Yes, that Rick Pitino, the same guy who just got in trouble at Louisville. Rick Pitino was fired by Louisville. He had multiple scandals. He had a scandal with Adidas where he was paying players. Oh, he also had a brothel on campus. I'm not condoning that at all. But I do want my program to hire him. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not condone that behavior. Rick Pitino is a scumbag. But he's a scumbag I want to run my basketball program. Because I want WSU to win games. I work at almost every Washington State basketball game. I'm under the basket. I'm filming every moment. I say this not because I like his behavior, but because I want Rick Pitino to make people show up to my games. You know how badly it sucks to go to a game and there's nobody there? It's weird when you can hear people talking 6 rows back and hear their entire conversation during a basketball game. That's uncomfortable. That's weird. I don't want to go to games where Washington State blows a fourth quarter lead and loses by 15. That's not fun. That sucks. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose games anymore. It's not fun. Now, it's interesting. Nobody wants to come be a part of Washington State's basketball program. And at the same time, nobody wants to hire Rick Pitino to be their coach. It's a match made in heaven. It's perfect. Washington State basketball and Rick Pitino, they need each other. Love it or hate it. Whether you love or hate Rick Pitino, you probably hate Rick Pitino. You can't deny this. In 2013, Rick Pitino won a national championship. The guy has over 1,000 wins. That's not one. That's 1-0-0-0. Rick Pitino has won over 1,000 games in the NCAA. This is a chance to get a legendary coach. This is a chance to get a coach that Washington State could not otherwise get under different circumstances. Washington State should make a deal with the devil and hire Rick Pitino as their men's basketball coach. And they better do it soon, because I cannot be the only person with this thought process that believes eventually Rick Pitino is going to get offered a job. Rick Pitino has an agent, and he's looking for employment. And I think it's interesting if Washington State basketball players are watching this video. If you are a Washington State basketball player watching this video and you're angry, I don't care. You had every opportunity. If you're mad that I think your coach should leave, you should have won games. There was a video series made by Washington State about the basketball team this year called Respect My Hustle. No, thank you. I will not respect your hustle. I respect winning. If you give me results, I'll respect that. But nobody respects losing, and nobody respects a team that shows up with maybe a couple hundred people in the stands. That's awful. That's embarrassing. I want to see Washington State's program turned around. Rick Pitino. Love him or hate him, Rick Pitino could turn around Washington State basketball. I want Washington State basketball to hire Rick Pitino. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. You can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, on YouTube, also on Google Play. Thank you so much. If you really want to help me grow Strong Opinion Sports, though, tell your friends about the show on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Share this with your friends. Tell the world about Strong Opinion Sports. Subscribe and help me grow by telling your friends about this podcast. Thank you so much.